Hello, welcome to the May 2014 edition of C-Gov's The Parish Line. We cover the events, programs, and policies of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. On this month's program, we will look at the recently opened Corvina Road extension, visit the parish's annual Youth Summit and Job Fair, and take a look at the newly reopened MARC at the Office of Juvenile Justice Services. First, the police jury approved changes to 4 voting precinct boundaries at its May 1st meeting. J.P. Booth gives us the details.
Item number 10, take appropriate action to adopt an ordinance to merge, consolidate, or split voting precincts within
all bullets, 10 and all bullets.
Calcasieu Parish. 10.1.
With the ever-changing population of Calcasieu Parish, voting precinct boundaries have recently been adjusted to reflect that. With the help of the Registrar of Voters Office, the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury voted unanimously to approve an ordinance adopting these new boundary lines.
The police jury last week took action on a number of housekeeping type items concerning our voting precincts. Under state law, we cannot have voting precincts that contain less than 300 voters nor more than 2,200 voters.
And all of that started was because in January, the state of Louisiana, through each parish and registrar of voter, does a canvass procedure where they mail or they verify voters and their addresses specifically within Calcasieu Parish. So when we got through with the canvass, then I notified the police jury that we have those precincts that are less than 300 and those precincts that are over 2,200 active registered voters. So this is what generated this transaction. When I notified the police jury, then they looked at it and see where do they want to merge them with and how do they want to divide it. So
the 2 precincts that are being split are in Moss Bluff and South Lake Charles, while the 2 precincts that are being merged with other precincts are in North Westlake and downtown Lake Charles.
So let's start with the Moss Bluff area. 166 is too large, or was too large, so the police jury is using Terrio Road as the visible boundary to divide that precinct into 2 precincts, and those 2 will still be voting at the Moss Bluff Elementary School, which we said is the same location, just a different part of the building. The other one that they divided is in South Lake Charles. Ham Reed Road is the dividing line on that one. It was 1 precinct, it is now 2 precincts. We had 2 that were merged in North Lake Charles. There was 2 precincts that were very small, so you moved them together. It's 1 downtown here, so that's now 307 merged. In northwest of Westlake, there was a small precinct there that was merged into another one, so it is now north of Westlake. So those 2 have been merged, and they'll still be voting at the high school.
The decision to alter precinct boundaries is based on state law that requires precincts with less than 300 or more than 2,200 active voters to be adjusted.
It's just not feasible to have a precinct with less than 300. That's cost factors. You have a location, you have commissioners on election day, you have utilities, you have drayage fees to transport the machines to and from the precinct. 300 is just too small to work, unless you have various, if it's a different school board district or a different police jury district, you know, those are some of the variables that you can, or exceptions that would allow you to keep one less than 300. But it's just not cost effective to use a precinct with less than 300 voters in it.
While the decision to merge precincts with under 300 voters is for cost-saving measures, the decision to split precincts with over 2,200 voters is mainly for congestion.
That is for crowding purposes. It's a little hard to deal with, especially your larger elections. When you have that many registered voters, it creates long lines, and it's just harder to deal with more people on election day, on large election days. So we find that if you divide it up, you can manage it easier, more efficiently.
Both the police jury and the Registrar of Voters Office will be working with media outlets as well as sending letters to notify any residents of a change in their precinct.
What we'll do is the Registrar of Voters Office will send out a new voter registration card to all the voters that were affected by the changes. In addition to that, the police jury, anytime we make a change like this, we post signs at the old location instructing voters where they are to go to vote. And those will be there at the, on the election day and prior to, in case they're driving by. And then what the police jury does also is the day before an election and the day of the election, which in this case would be November 4th. we would run a front page ad alerting those voters that there have been some changes and they might be affected. The Registrar of Voters office is kind of the boots on the ground. If they have any questions about where do I go vote, or have I changed my polling place, they can always call her at 721-4000.
And remember that although your voting precinct may have changed, that doesn't necessarily mean your polling location has changed as well.
A precinct is a geographical area, perhaps let's use a square or a rectangle. That's a geographical area that the police jury sets the precinct parameters or the boundaries of that line. It has to be a visible line, such as a road or a pipeline, right-of-way, river, canals. It has to be something visible to the eye. You can't use a property line. And the voters that are residing within that geographical are obviously assigned to that precinct number. The police jury also sets where that precinct will be voting on election day. And sometimes, like in those that we split, you can house more than one precinct in a physical location. So the voter may still be going to the same place physically, they'll just be in two separate parts of the room, such as a cafeteria or a gym or whatever. You have one precinct on one side of the room, another precinct on the other side of the room.
For the Parish Line, I'm J.P. Booth.
The first election date for the new boundaries will be November 4th. The MARC, our Office of Juvenile Justice Services Multi-Agency Resource Center, reopened earlier this month.
The building was nearly destroyed by fire in August, forcing staff to relocate its services to the main OJJS building.
I have so many people to thank, the parish for allowing us to do this on an emergency basis. To some of the other processes were taken out of the loop, and so hats off to to the jury and parish administration for pushing this project. The construction crews that were out here, energy, everybody that's been involved, in getting this building back up and running has been fantastic.
We were moving back in here this morning, and a family just happened to pull in. They saw us moving in, so I guess they assumed that we were open, and we were. We were ready to take them in. Once again, IT, C-Gov's out here helping us out to get the word out to the public. IT's hooking our computers up as we speak in the other rooms, getting everything ready for those assessments for those youth coming in. We had a transition, kind of an all-hands-on-deck thing here at OJJS the other day, this Tuesday, where we got everyone, we need to get our furniture over here. We were having difficulty lining up services for that. We got 3 trailers. We all jumped in the trucks and we went and got our furniture ourselves, moved it back over here. So just an amazing experience to see, and a humbling experience to see everyone coming out and just pooling together to work for one good.
The repairs and renovations of the fire-damaged structure were extensive, requiring a near-complete overhaul of the facility's interior.
They gutted it. All of the sheetrock, rafters, roof, electrical lines, everything that has to do, computers, phone lines, everything that has a cable was taken out and put in. Rafters, they had to be wrapped. Some had to be replaced. The roof, you name it, was done. I mean, they gutted this down to the floor.
We were talking about that earlier. When you came in, you walk in and it's got the same feel. It's like, oh, I'm home, but it's also different because we've been gone since August. But this facility, it does not make the mark, but it definitely is more conducive to our services here. We want families to come in and be relaxed and know that we're here to help. We're not here to talk about the problems that they had. We're here to find solutions to those problems. We're going to focus on their strengths, and we're going to use those strengths to get them through these tough times. Families need to come here and know that they're not going to be judged. And this environment, it's just the perfect environment for it.
The MARC opened in 2010, and it has become a model of efficiency in offering juvenile justice services to families in need and allowing law enforcement to quickly return to their duties.
The MARC Center really was an idea that came from the Children and Youth Planning Board. There was a hole in juvenile justice services. It became a one-stop shop where parents can come in if they're just having trouble, with their children. We can give them information, or we can develop service plans and work with them a little bit more formally. It became a law enforcement misdemeanor assistance area where law enforcement didn't have to take a misdemeanor shoplifter after hours and keep that kid in a squad room or whatnot, so they could actually come here, drop off a referral, and then go back out on the road and do what they do best and let us do what we do best. And so law enforcement embraced it.
We don't want you to have to wait till it gets to the point where you're, I don't want to say forced to come in, but someone else has referred you here. Come in on your own. If there are some issues, if there's some red flags coming up in your home, maybe you and your children aren't communicating the way y'all used to. Maybe you're concerned, you're just seeing some things, you don't really know what's there, but you're worried that it may escalate to something else. Come in ahead of time. We don't have to place you on probation. It doesn't mean you're going to be in the judicial system. We can seek out services for you that you can go as a parent, leave here on your own with a plan in place to go out into the community and do this on your own. You don't need us for support. If you don't need us, that's fine. If you do need us, we're here also. We can put some services in place to where we can help coordinate that for you.
MARC services coordinate with the 14th Judicial District Court's Family and Juvenile Court Division, the Calcasieu Parish School Board, District Attorney's Office, the Public Defender's Office, and local law enforcement. Looking for a job can be a tedious task. Margaret Higgins visited a parish department whose motto is, "We put people to work."
Connecting employers with job seekers was the main goal during the April quarterly job fair. Workforce Investment Board Director Stephanie Simeon tells us about the job fair and who can attend.
The job fair is for anyone that's of 18 or older. Anyone can participate that's a job seeker looking for work, those that are unemployed, those that may be looking for a job that's maybe a higher skill than what they currently possess. So it's open to the public. The job fair usually lasts from 9 o'clock to noon. We offer the first hour of the job fair specifically for veterans, and then everyone else comes in after that.
A wide range of employers were available for those seeking employment.
The employers that are here today are a variety of employers, ranging from the petrochemical industry to retail to some of the federal training opportunities that we have. In addition to, we have training tables that offer information on training opportunities for those individuals who are looking to better their skills and get additional training so that they can be ready for some of the expansion projects that we have here coming up in the next 5 to 10 years. We have a beautiful day for the job fair, and we have a whole lot of people that are looking for work, and I think it's going to be very beneficial for those who are here today.
The next job fair will be held on July 9th. Pre-registration will begin on June 9th and end at 12 p.m. July 8th. Individuals will have the opportunity to register on July 9th once they arrive. For more information on the job fairs, call the Business and Career Solutions Center at 721-4010. For the Parish Line, I'm Margaret Higgins.
29 employers were present for the job fair, with 238 job seekers, including 12 veterans. You are watching The Parish Line, a production of C-Gov. The final leg of the Corvina Road extension east of Lake Charles is now open. C-Gov's Alex Folks reports on what that means for transportation and development in the area.
Parish engineer Tim Connors says the purpose of the project was to open the area to potential economic development.
This project was a project that was to improve the connectivity of our road network in that area, as well as opening up some areas to provide opportunities for economic development with the growth anticipated in our area as well. Well, this will provide us another access from Highway 14 northward to Preon Lake Road, as well as the east-west portion of this, which goes again from McNeese Extension at Highway 14 all the way to Highway 397. So you've got this large area that is starting to see some development. I think the first subdivision is being developed out there, and there's an opportunity for some commercial development immediately around the intersection itself. There's some sewer and water available in the areas of the intersection, and so we're hopeful that we'll begin to see some things take off in that area.
The just completed portion extends from Highway 14 north to the traffic roundabout, the first of its kind in the parish.
The roundabout concept is to one that will allow traffic to move smoothly without any delays. As the area begins to develop, you get more and more traffic. It's a much safer intersection, and because of our grades, the way they were tying in, it actually worked out better because of the super elevation that was previous in the curve that was there. Now with this particular alignment, it slows the traffic down as you enter the intersection, but you don't have to come to a complete stop. So it's a concept that's being used in other parts of the state and across the country, is widely used in Europe. And we're just now beginning to see the roundabout, more of that here in this area. But there are a lot of advantages to it, obviously, or it wouldn't be utilized or have progressed as far as it has in other areas. But they've found that this has worked very well, resolved a lot of issues, and we'll be seeing more of these in our area, not only just on the parish level, but also on the state level as well.
The planning and construction required cooperation between the staffs of the parish and the city of Lake Charles.
The utilities, of course, are being provided to us through the Lake Charles, their water, their sewer, coming in from the west end of the project, which they have the first mile of McNeese, and we have the remaining 2 miles of McNeese. And also the police jury. We have Kevin Guidry, who's backed this project and been a part of this as well through our process of getting this road constructed. And I know that he's relieved, as well as our department, to see this project come to a close.
For the Parish Line, I'm Alex Folks.
The project began in 2011 and was funded through the parish's 1.5-cent road and garbage tax. The 6th Annual Youth Summit and Job Fair is an attempt to give students the opportunity to find summer employment. Molly Morgan was there.
The annual Youth Summit and Job Fair is designed to help students ages 16 to 24 find summer employment. WIB Director Stephanie Simeon tells us more.
We are doing this job fair so that those individuals that are within that age group can obtain some summer employment. We have various employers here that have applications, or the individuals can go online and do applications for the employers that are here. We are very hopeful that if someone goes to work for an employer, that they work out so well for them that they will hire them on a permanent basis. But for the majority, it is for summer work. We have several vendors here, ranging from the petrochemical industries to fast food restaurants. We actually have more vendors here this year. The staff did a really good job of getting vendors here, more than what we had last year, and each year it's progressed. We've had more vendors than we had last year and the previous years. I'm just grateful that we're able to provide these services for the individuals that are 16 to 24-year-olds. And you may think that 24 is really an older age for a youth, but some have never had jobs before, and it is our goal to help those individuals who have not had a job before to obtain employment.
For the Parish Line, I'm Molly Morgan.
365 students attended this year's Youth Summit. They viewed material from 20 vendors. That's the Parish Line for this month. Thanks for watching. If you'd like more information about any of the stories on this month's program, visit cppj.net.